Shinsekai Yori, also known as From the New World, premiered in the fall season of 2012. It was produced by a fairly well-known studio called A1 Pictures. With the introduction of every season, anime fans everywhere speculate on which shows are going to be great or mediocre, and which shows have the potential to be something amazing. Shinsekai Yori falls under that last category. Many people on Reddit and Mal cautiously predicted this anime to be a sleeper pick for anime of the season. Despite fall 2012 being fairly stacked, I can confidently say they got it right. Fast forward 3 years, and in 2015, Shinsekai Yori has become pretty well known and is highly regarded in most anime circles. If you're a part of any internet anime community, you've probably had it recommended to you at least once. So what's the hype about? Shinsekai Yori takes place 1,000 years into the future, but instead of flying cars and intelligent robots taking over the world, the technology has actually regressed, and people live a more simple life. The unique spin is that this dystopian society is ruled by people who have God's power, also known as Kansas, which is just really a fancy term for psychic powers. The story revolves around the protagonist Saki Watanabe, and 4 other children that have awoken their Kantas. They enter an academy to train and hone these powers. Fairly simple, right? Wrong. Not all is as it seems. Strange rumors start to circulate, and mysterious events are popping up one by one. Soon the children discover that their perfect world and its history are much darker than they appear, and humanity is actually on the verge of collapsing. Firstly, Shinsekai Yori's greatest and most obvious strength is its world building. The anime takes great care in elaborating every detail of its intricate setting, from the eerie feeling you get from District 66 with its rich and dark history, to the Quirat society, who have their own unique culture and motivations. The world they created truly breathes, and it just feels perfect. Every episode reveals the great care that went into the thinking and articulating of the world. Most anime settings don't have the same feel of completedness like Shinsekai Yori's does. What I mean by completedness is that the world they created is so well written that it's almost impossible to find any holes in. You can tell so much thought and effort was put into creating this, that when you watch it, you just feel so immersed, and for a second, you forget that this is just a work of fiction. While the setting and world building definitely takes center stage, the actual story of this anime is no pushover either. The show tells a very satisfying and versatile story. It does an excellent job balancing slice of life, adventure, war, and psychological horror. The story's slow build-up into the crescendo of the final episodes was definitely a breathtaking experience. Shinsekai Yori, however, comes with a few glaring flaws. First is pacing. The beginning is excruciatingly slow, with info dumps galore. This is certainly a huge barrier for less hardcore anime fans, but even hardcore veterans agree that it detracts from the overall enjoyment of the show. The second flaw, which I would argue is bigger than the first, are its characters. The info dumping is necessary as a foundation for the story and gets much better after a few episodes. But on the other hand, the characters only start to really get interesting near the end. You just don't feel much emotional attachment to the main cast, and outside of Saki, the other 4 aren't very well fleshed out either. But not all of the characters are dull. In fact, Shinsekai Yori has one of the greatest antagonists in all of anime. I can't get into it too much for spoiler reasons, but this character really catches you off guard, and provides just another layer of awesomeness to an anime that was already pretty awesome to begin with. Lastly, I found the anime's visuals to be simple, but beautiful. The animation has many hiccups scattered throughout, but it personally did not bother me too much. The watered down color schemes does wonders and fits the tone of the show perfectly. Combine this with an OST that never really dominates the scene, but instead lets the world shine, was an excellent choice. To conclude, Shinsekai Yori is an ambitious sci-fi epic that features a creative and well thought out world that is probably the best in anime. Its complex story unravels beautifully and ramps up into an inevitable finale that will keep you glued to your seat. While it might have some unignorable flaws, it just does so many things better than a lot of shows that it's not fair to rate this show anything less than spectacular. So if you're like me and love shows that are unique, daring, and well written, Shinsekai Yori is definitely a must watch. Hi guys, JT here. I hope you enjoyed that mini review of Shinsekai Yori. Episode 8 is a very controversial episode, but just stick with it as it's smooth sailing after that. Also, I really liked how Shinsekai Yori covered the story of the children from when they were little all the way to when they were adults, and that's really something that you don't see a lot in anime, and the show did it really well. So before I let you go, here's the continuation of my favorite ED of all time, Wareta Ringo. But as always, easy fall.